Writing catchy melodies or top lining can be seen as a bit of a dark art in songwriting. Many people that learn to play an instrument, join a band and eventually want to start writing songs, with a bit of guidance or simply copying their favourite songs, can usually figure out things like chord progressions, song structure, tempos and styles. But turning those ideas into actual songs with lyrics and memorable tunes is where most people get stuck. To some extent, even writing lyrics is often seen as simply poetry and story writing. But putting those lyrics over a melody, that's the part that's hard to teach, and some people just seem to have a natural ability to write great melodies. But all is not lost if that isn't you. Just like any other skill, with time and intentional exercise, we can strengthen our ability to write good melodies. And in this video, I'm going to give you 3 exercises that we can use to improve our melody writing. But before we get into them, if you are keen on seeing more videos on songwriting, guitar and creativity, please do subscribe. I would really love to see more of you more often, and I'm adding videos to the channel weekly. Please let me know in the comments if you have any ideas or suggestions for videos that I should cover. And without further ado, let's get into those melody exercises. Number 1, create a melody with only one note. Yes, that may sound like a surefire way to compose terrible melodies, but remember, we're not trying to compose anything here. We're trying to exercise. And working with just one note will force us to consider the phasing or rhythm of a melody. You see, melody is made up of both rhythm, the timing of where the notes fall within a bar, and pitch, the range of musical notes within a scale. Both are of equal importance, and we are going to consider both in the coming exercises. Creating a melody with just one note focuses our attention on creating a solid rhythm. We are essentially creating a beat, just with sung or hummed notes rather than percussive sounds. So this is what we're going to do. Pick up a guitar or loop a simple chord progression into your recording software. Keep the chords nice and simple. Let's use A, G, D, A. Now try humming or singing different patterns all on that A note. La, dropping the notes at different points along each bar. La, 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 la. Na, 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 na. You can hum, la, na, make up gibberish sentences, whatever works. Even if you're not a singer, if you've recorded the guitar chords on a loop, you can do the same exercise by plucking that A string. But the point here is to try out different rhythms, different placements of where that A note falls, and if you can come up with a pattern that you can repeat every time. Number 2, melodic direction exercise. So the next step is to start moving those rhythmic notes up and down the scale. This exercise focuses on pitch and is really where our melody is created, because up until now, all we have is a sung rhythm. It's shifting those A notes up and down the A major scale that will turn our memorable rhythm into a tune. But we must keep the notes in the same pattern as the last exercise. It's the same timing within a bar. If it helps, stick to the A major scale. So A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G sharp, A. So all your notes should fall within that scale. But those rules can be broken, as without veering off too much of a tangent into musical theory, there are some other scales and therefore notes that sit outside of the A major scale that will fit with those chords. Use your ears and listen out for what works. So the same 3 chords and the same looped rhythm, but this time play around with different pitch directions until you land on something that sounds good or interesting. La 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 la. La 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 la. Na 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 na. La 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 la. So the goal again isn't to write a hit, although thumbs up if you do. It's about exercising our melody making. We should try to come up with a set of notes, hummed or sung, that can be repeated. Number 3, writing a 2-chord song. So this last exercise sits outside the 2 that we've just done. It's not so much an extension of the 1-note melody or melody directions, and it actually this time requires us to write a song. So perhaps a more advanced exercise for those of us already churning out music. But the focus of the exercise remains on melody making rather than the overall composition. If you haven't yet written any songs, and this might be your first one, then use the previous 2 exercises to help you create a melody. But the goal here is to compose something using just 2 chords. You see, limiting ourselves to just 2 chords means that we can't rely too much on chord variation to lift our compositions into different sections or emotions. It forces us to be very deliberate about our rhythm and pitch choices and whether to add repetition or variation. How do we make the chorus feel different to the verse? We need to think about contrast between sections and how note length can evoke different emotions. If your verse is busy, i.e. lots of melodic direction, lots of notes placed across the bar and scale, then try making your chorus quite sparse, long notes with little variation. And with those 3 exercises, I will leave you to go and expand your melodic capability. Please gently tap the like button if you enjoyed this video, and perhaps I'll see you in the next video.